and what is going on, guys, the boss here, and welcome to another video here on my channel. What we're gonna do in this one is reaching above wave 70 in the Crab Festival, which is one of my favorite maps of all the arenas, but I'm gonna elaborate on this one later on a little bit more. So what does wave 70 mean? So far, if you make it above wave 70, it's basically a guarantee for the first place no matter where you are, and that's why I'm showing it to you today. The towers which make that possible are the Poison Jet, which is the first time I'm using a epic card in a loadout inside of a video. This tower is incredibly strong, but you can convince yourself of that in a second. Next is the Mortar and the Sky Harpoon. Furthermore, we're taking the Dragon Cannon, the Grunt and the Snowball, and last but not least, our precious Hero. Obviously these cards are on a high level, and even if you don't have your towers on the same level, at least you will know which towers you should try to get to perform as well pretty good in this arena. Anyway, we're set now, let's have a look at the gameplay. Alright, we're having here right in the beginning 40 gears, which we're gonna spend on building 2 Poison Jets to deal with the waves which are gonna approach us in a second. Furthermore, we're having 10 gears left, which we're gonna use to upgrade already the left Poison Jet on level 2. This should be enough to deal with the first waves then. Now let's order our hero here in the center of the map as an insurance that if one troop makes its way to the Skyshot generator, we will still be able to take it down. Then we just need to wait a little until we are able to upgrade the Poison Jet up to level 3. So what I'm doing here is just focusing on the left side, and soon enough you will know why. I know this map starts off quite slow, but once we start to get higher, things are gonna get pretty much turbulent. But for now we're just focusing only on the left side. But we need to be careful, as in wave 5 one troop actually is never gonna hit by the Poison Jet. That's why we had to use the Snowball here. Alright, once again we don't do anything on the right side and just put our mortar next to the right entrance, which we're also gonna upgrade to the max. And in a second you know why. So far nothing spectacular has happened, but that's gonna change now after we finish the next 2 waves. Let's upgrade that mortar one last time, and now we need our Snowball immediately after wave 9. So in wave 10 the first crab will appear, and now have a look at the top left screen, and as soon that score counter turns to a 10, we're gonna use the Snowball on the left entrance to freeze that crab. This is super important as we need to freeze that boss when it enters, otherwise it's gonna be out of the range of the Poison Jet, and that means it's gonna take a lot longer to take it out, which is obviously not the case when both towers can shoot at it simultaneously. Alright, so our goal in the Crab Festival is to minimize the time we need to get into the next wave. And since we can't predict the wave types here, unlike in sudden death, we can prepare ourselves in advance and use a proper strategy to take them out fast. After we've beaten out the first crab, the next one's gonna turn up on the right entrance, which means we need to prepare ourselves on the other side with mortars, because we want to take the next boss in wave 20 out as well as fast as possible. Fortunately, the left side is now pretty much secured from that other mortar and the Poison Jet, and that means we can focus completely on the right side by building up a couple of mortars only there. One thing you probably have seen are those 2 new Sky Harpoons which are placed to block that niche where enemies would have a direct way to the Skyshot generator, and so far we cannot afford to lose a lot of hearts because we'll need them later on. So our goal now is to build up first 3 mortars and another Poison Jet to deal with the next boss of wave 20, which is approaching now. However, we need to prepare now again our Snowball to deal with the next boss. This boss spawns Scrabbies, which require him to be stationary, but right after that we drop our Snowball onto it since we want to prevent it from moving further away from our mortars. This is helping us a lot since after the effect of the Snowball expired, Karkinos stops again to spawn its little troops, and therefore our mortars have additional time to deal damage. So once again our objective is to minimize time we need for each wave, and when you play the Crab Festival it's possible to do that a lot if you know which types of waves are coming at which point. This is also helping us now for the next air wave. This wave is massive and can cause serious troubles when we are not prepared for it with the Sky Harpoons. So we're building them up in the center to prevent that pirates decrease our hearts. But also have a look at the Poison Jets, which are super strong against those guys, and because of those we only need a few Sky Harpoons to deal with them. Another reason why this wave is so important is that they give us a lot of gears to build up a proper defense against the next upcoming waves. On our journey to the next boss wave, we're just building and upgrading our mortars and use our Snowball from time to time just to be a little bit faster by slowing down the approaching waves. As you can see, I'm building the mortars all around the entrances of the waves, which is helping a lot right in the beginning when they just enter the map, and even when one of the pirates is able to dodge those mortar hits, we're having the poison jet doing decent work on those. Alright, the next boss wave is gonna be an air wave from the left side, so we need to prepare ourselves for that with a couple more sky harpoons, which will shoot it from the sky. So far we only played approximately 6 minutes and reached wave 30, so we should be on a good way to reach a high wave at the end of the day. As now the waves are becoming longer though, we just keep upgrading our mortars, and I have finally some time to talk about this map in general. I know that when you're on a lower level, the towers aren't blowing the pirates away like my towers do. And that's why the method I'm showing you here is probably only applicable for those who are pretty much advanced in the game. However, the reason why I like this map so much is that we have a lot of ways to perform well. For example, you can either decide to have the action going on in the center right in front of the skyshot generator, which I recommend for lower level players, or you can do it like I did, more on top of the map, which is more suitable for advanced players. As my second account didn't unlock this arena so far, I unfortunately are not able to show you the gameplay from it, but you'll see that every time you upgrade your tower which you use for this map, it is improving the score a lot, and this is quite nice, and it gives a lot of satisfaction when you realize that you're becoming better and better inside of the game. So from my point of view, even though this map deploys all the time the same waves, you can do a lot with your towers to get better, and this is quite nice in my opinion. Alright, now after wave 36, we're having a wave coming in which can be responsible for taking a lot of time. So we're gonna use a special strategy to deal with those. First of all, we're placing our grunts right in front of the entrance on the left side, since we got now the mini bosses coming in, which we all know from sudden death. But there won't be only one showing up, I think there are around 5 to 6, which are pretty strong even in regards to my tower level. Similarly to the other grunts placement, we're placing some grunts in front of the right entrance as well, since we want to cluster those mini bosses in that area where a lot of mortars are standing, and this will help us to benefit from their splash damage. Furthermore, we're gonna use the snowball and accelerate its reloading speed with the dragon cannon, as those mini bosses are also quite fast, and therefore we just need to blow at least some of them into pieces. As you can see, there's now another one spawning, and we still have one left whose health is almost completely full. Therefore we remove that one sky harpoon, which is making the two mini bosses take the direct route to the generator. However, as they are still far away from it, we place another sky harpoon right in front of them and remove it immediately afterwards, which is pissing them off, and consequently they start to sprint. Based on our action, we had to suffer now some heart losses, but that's okay, as we practically exchanged hearts from moving faster to the next wave. Always keep the strategy in mind, it's gonna help you a lot to become faster in this arena. We're having over 20 hearts in total, and if you start struggling with a wave or it takes up too much time, just let it slip through, and that's gonna make your life a lot easier. With 18 hearts left, we're facing then in wave 40 our next boss, who's gonna appear on the right side of the map. So this is also something to keep in mind. The bosses always change their entrance, and for example the first boss starts on the left side, then the next one is appearing on the right, and it starts again from the left side afterwards. This is something important as it helps to prepare for those waves, and this way of boss appearances continues throughout the whole arena game. Anyways, we're trying to keep the boss stationary at one spot where most of the mortars can reach it. To do so, we're deploying a lot of grunts and might use our hero as well. So our defenses are built up in a way that almost all towers focus on one of the entrances, and this is giving us the advantage to deal with approaching enemies right in the beginning, and therefore the bosses don't reach a spot where less towers have the opportunity to deal damage. A small tip from me as a side note, we always need to have a backup group of grunts in the center of our defense, just in case some of the pirates still survive and could run all the way around the defense lines, which would cost us a massive amount of time. So we need to prevent that possibility with all means necessary, and those grunts would stop them from doing that. Another thing I need to mention here is that after wave 40 there are coming more and more waves which take up more time, as they involve mini bosses, and sometimes it's better to let them reach the skyshot generator, as this is again faster than fighting them. This happens as well in wave 44, where that golem is pretty hard to deal with, so why not open the direct route again and let this guy just disappear into our skyshot generator. From this point onwards, we continue with the strategy to place our grunts right in front of the entrances, exactly like we did in boss wave 4. This accelerates our wave progresses a lot, and the mortars start to hit every time they shoot. In other words, this troop placement is the key, which is gonna bring us to wave 70, and as we're having 9 minutes left, we're doing just fine. Okay, we're getting now again closer to the next boss wave in wave 50. Of course, this one's gonna appear on the left side, so we need to prepare the side by placing some more mortars and building up a pile of grunts. Personally, for me, it is pretty insane to see how stronger tower upgrades affect the overall performance within the game. I can very well remember the times when my towers were just half that strong and they barely did damage to any of those towers, but now they are just incredibly strong and decrease the health of Ripper so fast with every shot hitting down on him. Even though everything looks now very simple and fast, always consider that these high level towers are making a huge difference and allow me to use such a strategy. After this boss wave, we can see that we're just about to face another air wave, and this one's already an intense one, but right afterwards we're gonna see again another super strong one. So we need to use our gears earned to build up a massive air defense line in front of the Skyshot generator. Fortunately, the ground waves are pretty much harmless, so we can focus solely on building more and more sky harpoons to prepare ourselves now for this huge giant pyro attack. As you can see, I'm having here around 10 of them, and even though they are also on a high level, they still need some time to take out at least one of them. But fortunately, they're giving again a huge amount of gears, which is gonna help us build even more mortars and to deploy more grunts, which is gonna help us to make our way up to wave 70, although we only have 6 minutes left from this point onwards. The problem I'm still having is that the enemy's troops start to wipe the floor with the grunts, because they have not that much health, and that's certainly a factor I need to improve on to get here better results. As we're getting pretty normal waves up to wave 60, where we are facing the next boss, we can skip those parts by speeding up again, and then I'm having another small trick for you to improve the results. As I'm not seeing a big difference between the health of the bosses of wave 60 and 70, I decided here to let this boss get through without killing him. This is again boosting our speed a lot, and that is something also for you to remember. But we had to suffer here as well 10 hearts, so we were only able to let one boss reach our Skyshot generator, as we wouldn't survive more damage like this. In general, at some point it's hard to kill a boss in time, but if you have that luxurious position as I do, where I'm still having 17 hearts remaining, we can afford to exchange hearts again for faster progress, even when we have to take the damage of a boss. This can save up to 2 minutes and is therefore an effective method to improve the score. That's why I just opened up that path where the Sky Harpoon was standing. Now in between wave 60 and 70, we always need to deploy the grunts whenever we have the opportunity to do so. Also, never forget to make use of the Dragon Cannon, as we can use the Snowball more often, and this not only helps to freeze the enemies, but directly makes our grunts survive longer, as they cannot be killed during the moment when the pirates cannot attack. Then after around 18 minutes we're able to face the boss of wave 70, which is coming from the left side and is called Duke O' Crab. So we're having here a noble crab coming in, where we are gonna proceed in the exact same way we did with all of the other bosses. To help out our grunts, we're also ordering our heroes close to O' Crab's position, just in case we need her, and when having a look at the overall tower layout, we're basically done, as we've placed everywhere mortars and don't have any space where we could place some more. Therefore, once we take out O' Crab, we're about to enter the finishing line with less than a minute left on the countdown, and so far we're on the first place, which you can see on the scoreboard on the left side of the screen. Which means we could quit this game right now, but I always recommend to play until the very last moment to get the best result possible, because sometimes one sneaky opponent manages to get just a little bit higher, and we usually don't want to redo this map again just to improve a little bit, because we didn't play until the very end, although we should have. All the waves after we won against O' Crab are so far not that hard, and therefore we could get here easily in 30 seconds 2 waves higher, which is pretty nice to improve the score. But as we don't have that much time left right now, and the opponents are entering the arena not fast enough, this is gonna be the maximum score we can achieve, as we're gonna enter the last 10 seconds right now. There's not much left we can do at the moment. Wave 73 is not that bad, though my record so far was wave 75. Unfortunately, I couldn't reach that high score in this video, but when I do, I might put it online as well. To wrap up, the key to success in this arena is to manage your time properly, and you should always aim to minimize the time and efforts a wave takes to take it out. And if it's not going fast enough, just exchange hearts for time. That always works out quite well. Alright, hopefully I'll be done to get my second account on a nice level soon, to be able to show you some strategies for beginner accounts. Other than that, this is it from me. Have a great day. Peace out.